third grade. You're all on camera now. Hi, Abron. Good to see you. It's been way too long. So, Abron, yay. What you're going to do is don't unmute yourself to sing, but I do want you to sing. But when it is your turn to talk, unmute yourself and you will say the part. I will share the screen so you will see the words, okay? But if you have your script with you, even better, because then you don't even have to worry about what's on the screen if you can't see it, okay? Because sometimes I'm not real quick to get it. We just prayed. We're going to start with some stars and stripes forever. So I'm going to start the music. Sing along, but I will be putting the words up, okay? But I got to start the music first. Let's cheer for the red, white, and blue. May our banner be waving forever, reminding us how freedom grew. Come, let's join us once we knew. Now should remember the day when our fathers lived mighty together, secured all our freedoms today. And by their seven stripes we free forever. Let's cheer for the red, white, and blue. May our banner be waving forever, reminding us how freedom grew. From the struggles once we knew. Now let's should remember the day when our fathers were mighty together, secured all our freedoms today. And by their life and by their life it's forever. And we're going to have a drum roll right there. And then Kinsley, this is not in your script, but Kinsley is going to say, let's all pledge allegiance to the flag. Go ahead, unmute yourself, Kinsley, and you can say that. Do you know how to unmute yourself, Kinsley? I'll unmute you. Say it, Kinsley? Is there no microphone on yours?
Yeah, I think.
Wave at me if you can hear me. Okay, but can I hear you? Can you say something to me? Say hi.
I can barely hear you because my.
Okay, so we can't hear Kinsley. She must have a microphone on her. So she just said, let's pledge allegiance to the flag. We'll all pledge allegiance to the flag. And then we will start the second song. Ready, set, go. You're a grand old flag. Whoops. Grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag. And you're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag. And forever we will wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of country and the brave. Every heart beats true to your red, white, but there's never right on the mountain. Forever in peace. You're the emblem of the where there's never a star back. Good on the plains and forget. Keep your eye on the Okay, and then at that point in time, all right, I hear somebody. So everybody, I'm going to mute everybody again. Make sure you are muted except when you are saying your parts. Okay? Mute yourself unless you're saying your parts.
all right? Because then we get weird noises. I'm going to share the screen and share the script. The first speaker is, after Kinsley, is Hudson. Hudson, can you unmute yourself and say that part?
Our flag has 13 stripes for each of our country's original colonies and 50 stars, one for each of the 50 sections of the U.S. that we call states. We live in a great country, in a great variety, up from the sunny beaches of Florida to the snowy banks of Alaska to the rising skyscrapers of New York and the golden wheat fields of Kansas. We surely have 50 nifty United States.
There we go. And then we're going to sing 50 Nifty, and we're gonna do it with the video. Here it is. I'm gonna share it. Sing along.
50 nifty United States from 13 original colonies. 50 nifty stars in the flag that billows so beautifully in the breeze. Each individual state contributes a quality that is great. Each individual state deserves a bow. We salute you now. 50 nifty United States from 13 original colonies. Shout and tell all about them, one by one, till we've given a day to every state in the USA. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut.
This is the slow one.
Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming,
Now fast.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, North, South, East, West, in our common objective of peace.
Say Kansas.
Kansas is the best of the 50 nifty United States from 13 original colonies. Shout 'em, scout 'em, tell all about 'em, one by one, till we give it a day to every state in the good old
I hope you have more than me. All right, good job. Nice.
Yay!
Yay. And we have Miley with us now, I think.
We get it. You don't really
Whoa,
want your
sorry.
kids watching videos.
No, we
but
don't.
it can have certain
What's
advantages.
that?
It's a commercial. Sorry, that's the bad thing about YouTube. Okay, but that's the only YouTube video that we'll be looking at today. All right, right after that, let me share the script with you again so you can see it. The next speaker is Shiloh. Shiloh. Shiloh, if you can hear me and if there's no microphone on your, can you talk, Shiloh?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Shiloh.
There have been 44 men who have pledged their allegiance to the flag and taken the of the office of the president of this fine country. We have had fun learning a little bit about many of these guys and want to give each and every one of them a little shout out for their part in our country's history.
Very good. And now we're going to go back to our presidents and we're going to sing. I'm going to play the guitar some of the time. Let me show it to you guys. Let me share my screen again. Share screen. There it is. Share. Here we go. History's full of people and times, and we have learned them with this rhyme. Sing, presidents of the USA have made our country great today. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk and Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, and Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, and Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush and Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Trump. 45 presidents, cartoons, video games. There they are. Okay, so again, I'm going to have 45 not 45 of you. There's not even 45 of you. 15 of you guys are going to come up and you will be the presidents. Okay, I don't know who yet. So even some of you who didn't audition for a speaking part, that could be a part. And I also, hi Miley, good to see you. That also might be a good part for, well, it's going to be more than just the people who didn't audition, because I think there was only just like 3 of you guys that didn't audition. Okay, back to the script. Now this is where it gets really busy. Okay, so everybody that is in I've got my narrators for that scene. You're going to do a lot of talking. And then, of course, we have all of our characters. Now, if there's people not here, I will just read their parts today, okay? So let me share back to the script. All right, and I'm going to come down to it. And this is our big, 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 really play within a play. Cassia, I do not see Cassia with us yet. So Cassie is going to say, in America, we love to raise our flag, stand with our hands over our heart, and sing the Star-Spangled Banner. What many of you do not know, though, is how and why those words were written. Tonight, we'd like to share with you the story behind our national anthem. So it's going to be Kylie, Sydney, and Miley that are going to tell the story, but then all the other characters be ready to go. Okay, go ahead, Kylie.
The year was 1812, and America and England were at war again.
Sydney.
In Boston, Major George Armistead was in charge of the American Fort McHenry.
Miley. Miley, you see that?
Mayor Armistead wanted the British to know that Fort McHenry belonged to the Americans, so he hurried Mrs. Mary Pickersville, a local seamstress, to sew a gigantic American flag to fly over the fort.
Xavier, you're a major, so you got to be very serious here. Mrs. Pickersgill.
Mrs. Pickersgill, I want you to make a flag bigger than any you have ever sewn for our fort. I want it to be 30 feet high and 42 feet wide. I will fly it over the floor for all to see.
Sir, I would be honored to make this flag for you, but my shop isn't big enough to make such a flag. If I can find a place to make it, I will sew the flag.
Mrs. Pickersgill was able to use the floor of a large warehouse in Baltimore to spread out her flag. She had to work at night when all the workers had gone home. So she and her daughter Caroline sewed by the light of the oil lamps.
Mother, these stars are so big. They are nearly 2 feet across. They will certainly be seen from the harbor if the British come here. Elizabeth?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sew them on well, Caroline. This flag must be very sturdy and strong. 15 stars and 15 stripes. Well, wave over Fort McKinley soon.
Good. Sydney?
When the flag was finished, Major Armistead proudly raised it over Fort McKinley. Then, in the summer of 1814, the British ships arrived in the harbor. The major knew that Baltimore was now part of the war.
You tried it. Okay, Miley, you're good.
The war was ugly. The White House and Capitol building were both attacked and burned. There were prisoners taken on both sides. One of the prisoners was Dr. William Beans. Dr. Beans was captured in a British raid and taken as a prisoner to the largest warship in the neighborhood.
The harbor. Good. Miley?
Major Armistead asked 2 men to go to the British Admiral and talk to him about releasing Dr. Beans. It was a dangerous mission, so he had to choose 2 brave men, Mr. John Skinner, a military navigator, and Mr. Francis
It's negotiator.
Negotiator,
Good.
and Mr. Francis Scott Key, a lawyer from Baltimore.
And those 2 guys will come up at that point. Go ahead, Sydney.
Before they left, Francis Scott Key took time to visit the British prisoners being held in the fort. He had them sign letters saying that Dr. Beans had been kind to them and treated their wounds. He put the letters in his pocket and took them to show the British why they should release Dr. Beans.
Miley.
Early on the morning of September 12th, John Skinner, British ship, they held a white flag to let the ship know not to shoot at them. They had come to talk, not to fight. When they reached the ship, they were given personal permission to come aboard to talk to the
Admiral. Okay. Cole LeBron and Luke Smothers.
Sir, before you make your decision. Please
Actually,
take.
it's the line before that, Cole. Sir, we are here to talk to you about the release.
Sir. Oh yeah.
There you go.
I-
Up here.
That's great.
That's okay. Try it again.
We are here to talk about the release of our friend Dr. Beans. If you will agree to let Dr. Beans go free, we will let some of your men go free too.
LeBron, you're very serious. You're the bad guy.
You have to do like a British accent or something.
Ah, sure, if you want to.
Okay. I am sorry, but I can't consider freeing Dr. Beans.
Oh, good job, LeBron.
Sir, before you make your decision, please take the time to read these letters from your own men. They will tell you themselves that Dr. Beans has helped them and treated their wounds.
LeBron, wait on the deck.
Wait on the deck until I had time to read these letters and consider your request.
Good job. Nice accent. Kylie.
Mr. Skinner and Mr. Keys made their way to the deck of the ship. From here, the fort looked far away, but they could see the large American flag still waving above the walls. While they were waiting, two sailors standing nearby began to talk to each other.
I don't think RJ is here. Well,
I am.
Oh, you are. Yay, RJ. Go ahead, RJ.
Well, it won't be long now until the battle begins. By this time tomorrow, Fort McHenry will belong to us.
George, you're also evil. Or George and RJ.
Therefore, their fort will never be able to survive their blasts from our cannon. We are sure to win.
Are sure to win. So, Abron, RJ, and George, you guys are the British. You're the bad guys. You got to be like, ha, ha, ha.
Already made it.
Yes, that's it. Okay. Sydney.
Mr. Skinner and Mr. Keys were shocked to know that an attack would take place that very night. They must get back to the fort and warn their friends, but they could not leave until the Admiral had made his decision about releasing Dr. Beans. Soon, the Admiral called for them.
The Admiral. Good job, LeBron. You're muted, Abron. Let me unmute you. Abron, start that again because we couldn't hear you. It's not letting me unmute you. Unmute. There you go.
Gentlemen, I have read the letters you brought and I will agree to release Dr. Beans. However, I cannot allow you to leave the ship. I believe that you may have heard our plans and I cannot let you warn the fort of our attack. You must stay here on the ship until the battle is over. Then I will release you all.
Miley?
John Skinner, Francis Scott Key, and Dr. Beans stood on the deck of the ship. There was no way for them to send a warning, and they knew the Fort McHenry did not have enough soldiers to hold out for very long. As the sun set that evening, they looked across the water to see the stars and stripes flying bravely over the fort.
Luke? I wonder if we will see that flag
I wonder if we will see that flag tomorrow, or if a British flag will fly in its
place. Cole?
I was wondering, can we use a British accent? Because it was the American.
Let's have the Americans not have one, even though they probably would have because they came from England. But just to make it stay, we'll have you go ahead and have just a normal American accent, just to help our audience. Good job.
We'll know soon enough.
Good job, Kylie.
Early the next morning, while it was still dark, the British cannon began firing all around Fort McHenry. There were explosions. As the bombs lit up the night sky, the men peered through the explosions. As the bombs lit up the night sky, the men peered through the explosions. As the bombs lit up the sky, the men peered through the smoke to see if they could spot the American flag. At first, they were able to see it, but soon the air became so filled with smoke that they could hardly see it all. All through the day, the battle raged, and on to the next night.
Sydney? Sydney says, finally, after 25 hours of battle. Do you see that, Sydney? Is she still here?
Sydney, are you out there?
She might have fallen off. I can't see because I can only see a few people. I'm going to say
She's still here.
She's here, Sydney?
Here. She's here.
Okay. Go ahead, Sydney. What? Sydney? Finally, after 25 hours of battle? Her mic must not be working. I'm just going to say this part right now, and then when she gets back in, she can. Finally, after 25 hours of battle, the cannon stopped. The battle smoke began to clear, and the skies began to lighten. The tired Americans rushed to the deck of the British ship and strained to see the fort.
What can you see?
Nothing yet. There's not enough light. The sun's coming up now, and soon we will know how we have fared.
I believe I can see something. I can see a flag. Yes, it is the American flag. Fort McHenry has been defended. The Americans have won. Quickly, I must have paper and pen. I must write down about what has happened and what we have
seen. And so you guys are going to take paper and pen, and Miley's going to say.
So there on the deck of a British warship on the morning of September 14th, Francis Scott Key began to write the famous words for which he is still remembered.
Okay, and then we're all going to sing. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Sing it with me. What so proudly hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night, for the one were so gallantly streaming, and the bullets ran like war bombs gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, our stable, Right now, I can't go back. And it might just be because the girls are on next door. I don't know.
You're breaking up.
I'm breaking up. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the script.
It's because all of our videos are on.
It's because what is on the videos?
It's because all of our videos are.
All right, why doesn't everybody turn down your video for right now and see if that helps? Just see if it helps to hide your video. And I'll hide mine. I'll hide mine too. How's that? If Mrs. Kelly knows how to do such things. I don't think I know how to do it. Okay, it's better. It's a little better. Let me share my screen again. You share. And go ahead right after we sing that part of the song. It's going to be Sydney. Go ahead, Sydney.
Most Americans believe that the song ends there, but Francis Scott Key wrote 3 more verses describing that he had witnessed and the joy he felt at the triumph of his country. The last verse expresses not only just how proud he was of his brave countrymen, but also gave praise and glory to the one who he knew had given them this.
Great, and this is such an important thing, and let's try to sing it. Oh, thus be it ever when freemen shall stand between their lost home and the war's desolation, blessed with victory and peace. May the hem rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God is our trust. And the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. All right, and again, I wish we could all sing this together. We'll be able to sing it one of these days here soon. Next, Kinsley.
But wait, we need to back up for a minute. How did we get the flag that Scott Key wrote about? Who made the first flag? Is it on?
Sorry, is Abby here? No?
Yeah.
Abby, after Kinsley said who made the first flag, you say, I did. And Jeremiah will also say that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Most heard that President George Washington went to a lady in Philadelphia named Betsy Ross with an idea that she sewed the first flag, but there's no official evidence of that meeting. In fact, in the Journal of Congress, there is only a description of what the flag should look like, but no report of its creator.
Hudson?
We do know that there was a lady named Betsy Ross and that she did own an upholstery shop and that she did make flags. There's even a flag ordered and documented in the minutes of the Pennsylvania State Navy Board, but did she make the first one?
Good job. Kinsley. Kinsley, I think you're muted. I'm going to unmute you. Okay, Kinsley.
To complete matters, a man named Francis Hopkinson, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence, sent a letter to Congress asking to be paid for being the designer of the flag. Congress refused to pay him, though, but they didn't write down why, so it still remains a mystery. In 1870, Betsy Ross's grandson, William Canby, came to a historical society meeting in Pennsylvania and shared the story that his grandma had told him, that George Washington had come to her shop with the idea, and Betsy had helped him with the design and made the first flag.
Good, and it's Historical Society. That's what that was. All right, Hudson.
Sorry, Francis, but we know that grandmas always tell the truth. Betsy's grandson's story spread throughout the American culture and even made it to the history textbooks. Betsy will forever be revered as America's favorite seamstress and a lady who we sure all want to believe made our flag.
Very good. Now, in the middle of this song, Betsy, so Abby will be sitting there and she will be sewing in a rocking chair the whole time. Francis, Scott Key, I got Francis written down. Oh, Francis Hopkinson is going to be pouting over to the side. British soldiers, George and RJ and Abron, you guys will come out when it says that the British saw it. You're going to get mad. Cole and Xavier and Luke, you guys are all going to come out and act during this song. We'll talk about that more when we're all together. Did I close off my music? I sure did. Give me a second. I'm going to start the music and we're going to do Betsy Ross. Sing the song, and then we're going to do Barbara Fritchie, which we've never done before. Ready? Make sure you're muted, but sing along. Betsy Ross was famous for her sewing occupation. Some folks say she sewed the flag that stood for our new nation. Keep on sewing, Betsy Ross. Betsy Ross, our country's flag is growing. Now during this part, my British sailors are going to come out and they're going to be mad. Betsy Ross's flag was sewn on. There's going to be Xavier taking it. When the British saw the flag, you guys are going to get mad. No shit. When you go back, everybody, Abby just keeps sewing. 13 stars are glowing. Keep on sewing, Betsy Ross, our country's flag is growing. Now we're going to have Francis and Cole and the doctor. Francis got to watch the fight. The flag flew all night long. He saw its stars above the bombs and wrote this famous song. They go back, Betsy keeps saying, keep on sewing, Betsy Ross, 13 stars are glowing. Keep on sewing, Betsy Ross, our country's flag is growing. Betsy's flag is growing, calm and stormy weather. Thanks for sewing, Betsy Ross, the stars and stripes together. Betsy Ross. All right, and that'll be a great ending for that. Let me go back to my script. Right after that, George.
Our flag has been through its share of tough times, but none as tough as when the civilian war broke out. Imagine fighting against brothers, friends against friends, and two flags flying over a divided land. Ugh.
In the midst of this time, the story is told of a brave patriot who stood up for the flag she loved. Her name was Barbara Fritchie, and she said she had been 95 years old at the time of this event.
Okay, and then we'll have Stars and Stripes Theater presents Barbara Fritchie. And go ahead, George. Is it the poem?
From up the meadows, Richie with corn. Richie with corn cleared the cool September morn. The clustered spires of Frederick stands green walls by the hills of Maryland. Around about them orchards swept, apples and peach trees, fruit depths.
Rooted deep. You are describing a beautiful scene, George. So practice that.
Ding ding.
You are excited. You are describing beauty. All right, Adrina.
Fair as the garden of the Lord to the eyes of a famished rebel horde, on that pleasant morn of the early fall, when Lee marched over the mountain wall, over the mountains winding down, horse and foot into Fredericktown.
George.
Reader George. 40 flag with their silver stars, 4 flag with their crimber bars, flapped in the morning wind. The son of noon looked down on saw.
You're describing that the flags had to be taken down because the enemy was coming through. Go ahead, Audrina.
Up rose old Barbara Fritchie, then vowed with her 80 years and 10, bravest of all in Fredericktown. She took up the flag the men hauled down. In her attic window the staff she set, to show up that one heart was loyal yet. Up the street came a rebel tread, Stonewall Jackson riding ahead.
Christian is coming through with his soldiers. I'm going to need Christian to have some soldiers. That can be some of the people who have not.
Under his slouch hat, left a right hand, he glanced. The old flag met his sight.
Christian says, "Halt!"
Halt.
There you go. George.
The dust brown rank staff fast.
Stood fast.
Fire.
Right.
On blaze this rifle blast.
Hey, Christian, you are Stonewall Jackson. You are a general.
No.
So you're serious. All
Well
right,
done, Christian.
Adrina.
It shivered the window, pane and sash. It rent the banner with a seam and gash. Quick as it fell from the broken staff, Dame Barbara snatched the silken scarf. She leaned far out onto the window sill. She shook it forth with a loyal will.
And Sarah's not here, so I'm going to say Sarah's part. Shoot if you must, this old gray head, but spare your country's flag,
she said.
George. A shade of sadness.
A shade of sadness and bush of shame over the face of the leader came. The noble nature with his stared to life at that woman depth at word.
Deed and word. Christian, you're ashamed because you are getting ready to shoot an old lady.
Who touches a hair of a young gray head dies like a dog. March on.
Great. George? He said.
He said.
Audrina?
All day long through Frederick Street sounded the tread of marching feet. All day long the free flag tossed over the heads of the rebel host.
Host. It's actually host. I know it doesn't
Host.
rhyme. It doesn't rhyme, but that is the right one. Host.
Host. Ever its torn folds rose and fell on the loyal winds that loved it well. And through the hill gasped the sunlight, shone over it with a warm good night.
George?
Peace and order of
No,
Barbara Fritchie worked its order, and that rebel riders and his raid no more. Honored to her, and let a tear fall for her shake. And Stonewall Jackson beard.
On Stonewall's beer, and his beer is his place where he is dead now. Go ahead, Audrina. Sorry, Christian, but you're dead. Okay, Audrina.
Over Barbara Fritchie's grave, flag of freedom and union wave.
George.
Peace and unmuted wave.
Peace and order and beauty draw.
Round them thaw and light and law.
Audrina.
And ever the stars above look down on thy stars below in Fredericktown.
Okay, so you two, both of you, and Christian and Barbara, everybody's going to need to really read through that and do that very dramatically. Christian, I love the way you said his last line. I was really strong like a general. George and Audrina, you are telling this whole story, and I know they use some big words. Normally practice it a lot. Go ahead, Braun, and you're just using the normal Braun voice now.
Another lady named Julia Ward Howe was touched by seeing her country fighting this fight, but still confident. Confident that God was still in control. She was inspired to write this song of victory. Even through the darkest night, God's truth goes marching on.
Okay, we're going to skip this song because we're almost out of time. I want to let you guys go at 11. And this next line, I had it wrong on the script. It's actually supposed to be Jeremiah. So Luke S., I'm sorry if you learned that. But Luke S., will you go ahead and say it right now because Jeremiah's not here?
Through the years, our country has endured more battles, but still our flag flies on. In 2001, America was attacked by terrorists that wanted to create fear in the hearts of Americans and destroy our country. Instead, we saw Americans come together, side by side, raise the flag, and bow their heads.
Job. Abby?
Christian singer Michael W. Smith wrote this song as a tribute to those who served and continue to serve this country, to those who paid unlimited sacrifice, and to their families. As he said with an echo here tonight, we will never forget.
Okay. And actually, there will be another part at the end that I have not taught you guys yet. And we're not going to sing those songs because again, we have 4 minutes left and I want to leave time for questions. So right now, if you have a question that you want to ask, can you raise your hand and then I will call on you if anybody has any questions, okay? Cole, do you have a question? Because your hand's up, but I think it's been up for a little while. Cole, go ahead, Cole.
We're going to do this again.
Say it again.
Are we going to do this again?
Yes. What I want to do is I'm just recorded this whole thing, and you need to listen back to it, and you need to listen to your part and see how you can improve. Okay. A lot of you just need to read. Okay. A lot of you sound like you've never read your part before today. Okay. So I would like to do it again at the same time next week, next Tuesday morning at 10. Okay. Next question, Abron. Abron, ask you, what is your question?
Are we gonna do this play somewhere, or are we just gonna do it on video?
Oh, absolutely. Good question. I want to do this play right when we come back for school next year. So probably you'll be 4th graders, and probably in August or early September. So we will do the play. We will not do it like this because this is not a good way to do a play. Okay, so we will do it, but it will not be until after summer break. So you're going to have to continue to practice a little bit in the summer. Not all summer, but a little bit in the summer. All right, so I'm going to lower his hand. Christian, what's your question?
So on my script, it says Stonewall Jackson, but like when it's saying like halt and like my actions, it only says Stonewall, and I'm confused if I'm President the Jackson.
You are not president, no. But
Oh.
you are not the president. I'm so sorry. But Stonewall Jackson, you should look him up and see. He was with the Confederate. He was with the rebel army, so he was on the wrong side. But in this story, Stonewall Jackson, was getting ready to do the wrong thing, and then he decided to do the right thing. So at least you get to do the right thing. But no, sorry, you're not the president.
Ah, dang it.
Oh, no. Okay. Next one, Hudson. What is your question?
So isn't that General Jackson?
No, he's General Jackson, General Stonewall Jackson. Yes. And again, Hudson seemed to be the person. I'd say Hudson, Kylie, Audrina were the people who seemed to know their parts the best and were ready to say them. So good job. Keep doing it. Those were the 3 that I really noticed seemed like they were really ready to go. Not that the others were not good, but okay. Sydney, what's your question? Sydney, you have a question? Okay, let's see. Who am I hearing? I'm hearing somebody other than Sydney. Can you unmute, Sydney? Unmute. There we go. I can hear you now. What's your question? I can't hear you now again. Sydney, let me know when you get unmuted. Kylie, what's your question?
My cousins are behind Shiloh and
Oh, your cousins?
yeah, Zach and Kyron.
Oh, you saw some behind them? That's funny. All right. Sydney, are you unmuted? Okay. Yes, Sydney?
Yes.
What was your question?
When will we do the play next year?
I don't know. I've got to ask the teachers. Probably late August or early September. And I've got to for some reason, but I don't have a date yet. After summer. It will not be during summer. Okay? The first and grade, we try to do one during summer, but not you guys. Okay? Who else has a question? RJ has a question. RJ, unmute yourself and ask me your question.
Where are we going to do it?
Probably here at Sunrise, but probably the normal place we would have done it. Probably in the old gym, could be in the chapel. Not positive, but could be in the chapel. Luke Smothers, ask your question. Luke Smothers?
I didn't have I don't have my question anymore.
Okay, good. All right, I saw your hand was still raised on the thing, and so I see Abron's hand raised. Yes, Abron.
When can we leave?
You may leave right now if you would like to leave. If you don't have a question, you guys can leave. But it was good to see.
I have work.
Oh no, thank you for coming. Thank you. If you still have a question, you can stay. But if not,